Hey y'all, you know, in the world of finishing, there's probably no bigger friend we have than shellac. Shellac can handle a whole lot of problems, and it can cure a whole lot of ills, and it makes for a pretty decent finish. But one of the biggest things that we see is that there's still a lot of confusion about how you mix shellac. Now you can buy shellac pre-mixed. And these are typically what you'll see. Now, shellac is spoken of in pound cuts, and I think that's probably where the confusion comes in. Because the way it's done, you have a weighted measurement. There's two different measurements here. You have a weight, and then you have a volume. And that's kind of where the confusion comes in. It's kind of like a pound of feathers and a pound of lead. They both weigh the same. But common sense says this pound of feather is going to take up a whole lot more space than that pound of lead. That's kind of where the confusion gets in. Now let's understand that a little bit more. Let's take a look at this chart. A 2-pound cut, which is typically what is used in woodworking. Now there's all kind of different variations, but since we're focusing on how to thin it, a pound of shellac, a pound of flakes, in 2 quarts of alcohol gives you a 2-pound cut. 1/4 pound in a pint gives you a 2-pound cut. And it breaks on down. Now, just for your information, you know, a 1/2 pound cut, you don't have a lot of shellac in there, and a 1 pound, you got a little more, 2 pound and up the scale. And these all have different uses. Now, the shellac you buy in the store, this particular type, is typically a 3-pound cut. It's a little thicker. Now, the issue with this is that it's not a de-waxed shellac. And that's a whole nother story. Shellac typically has wax in it. And this has some in it, and it's refinement. In woodworking, we want the de-waxed stuff, the stuff where the wax has been removed. Now here's seal coat. Seal coat is a 2-pound cut, and it is de-waxed. It also is a little bit more refined, has a little better shelf life. Spray cans, it's about a 1-pound cut. Now here's a quick note. You buy a can of shellac and you shake it, you're not going to have the rattle ball in it. Doesn't need it because it stays mixed. But that's just for your information. The other thing is that, you know, the solvent that you want to use is denatured alcohol. That's the end of the story. Okay, but what we want to talk about is the measurement of it and how to be accurate in it. Now here we have a 1/2 pound of shellac. This is an orange, this is a blonde. And you can definitely see there's a huge difference in volume. Yet we have the same weight. What's the difference? Well, the difference is simply the size of the flakes. Now here's another tip. The finer the flake, the quicker and better it dissolves. Here's a slick trick I picked up from my buddy Bob. A simple coffee grinder, a little inexpensive coffee grinder. Grind your flakes, put them in a jar. They dissolve a whole lot faster than the bigger flakes. Or you can simply just crunch them up real good, whatever the case. Another way to get shellac to dissolve a little faster is you can put it in a warm bath of hot water. Do not put it close to or on any kind of a heat source or an open flame. The alcohol is extremely flammable. But here's the difference. Here's the thing we have to understand. we have to take, to get a 2-pound cut in a pint, we want to take a 1/4 pound, a measured weight, and put it in a pint jar. In this case, we've got a 1/2 pound in a quart. So I want to fill it right. This is my point, right to the line, and I have a 2-pound cut. This one's also going to give me a 2-pound cut. It's just going to dissolve faster. And you know, shellac is kind of a brittle product, and so in shipping, handling, whatever, the flakes get broke up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So so volume measurements, you'll see people say put this much shellac and then this much alcohol. It kind of gets you close, but it's really not a very good accurate measurement, and this is why. Now the other thing that's out there that measures the same way is typically your powdered dyes. They will tell you to put ever how many ounces of dye to a volume of liquid. In this case, they're telling me to put 4 ounces to 2 to 8 quarts of hot water. They're giving me a specific weight that I need to use the scale for to add to a volume of liquid. That's the way it works, okay? So it's actually a measured weight and is the most accurate way for mixing dyes and your shellacs. See, I told you it wasn't that hard. But it gets kind of confusing because there's a whole lot of information out there. Shellac, like I said, it's a finisher's best friend. Learn about it. You'll like it.